to show us what is there in Israel and how it looks like. And she's
I'm
very
taking
excited.
it.
Yes, Rena, global namaste to you.
Hello, namaste, Dr. Amrita, and everybody listening. Thank you for having me.
Global namaste. On that point, can I just mention that the location we were in yesterday was just so idyllic and so divine. It was just so wonderful, the nature there. The trees were so huge, tall, and mature. It was really well kept because there's a place called the what's it called? The Kenwood House. And in itself, it's a museum of artifacts and antiques. So, you know, they very well look after it, the security and all that. And we even got friends, Neil even got, you know, on good terms with them because they were, you know, very nice to us and looked after us. And because we offered them some of our goodies, they enjoyed our Indian food. And so, you know, the whole spirit of that park yesterday, the weather as well of nature, which was from nature, and that perfect temperature, and it didn't rain, it held off, and the sun was shining on us. So yes, friendship with nature was definitely at play yesterday as well.
Nice. That's nice. So Rena, can you tell us about the friendship that you have with the nature? Over to you.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you. So I've moved around a lot in the last, I can't even remember how many years it's been. And so befriending nature really has been a grounding practice for me. And I was hoping to give you a little bit of a tour using my phone, but I'm having technical issues with that. So I'm going to try my best with my computer, but I'm not going to be able to take you quite as far as what I had hoped.
No worries.
So
what are you going to show us in Israel?
I'm going to show you. So first of all, for context, I live on a moshav. A moshav is kind of like a community of people where a lot of the people have agricultural land. And the moshav is about 40 minutes south of Haifa, about 40 minutes north of Tel Aviv by train. So sort of north of the country. So I'm in my kitchen right now, and I'm opening the window. Let's see.
Wow. So people do agriculture over here?
So yeah, so this plot of land that's right here are people that grow wheat. And
I can see the breeze that is blowing your hair away, which I think is so soothing when you must be cooking. So that kind of a bond of friendship where a breeze comes and just tickles your hair around. It's also good not to make you realize that I'm existing.
It's, you know, Dr. Amrita, I hope I can articulate this because I'm really grateful for a lot of the life that I have here in Israel, and it's far away from my family. And a lot of the human friends that I've had that, you know, I've made new ones, but I spend a lot of my time in this wood cabin that's surrounded by the fields that you just saw. And in addition to the fields, there's a lot of cats, there's a lot of frogs, there's a lot of birds, there's dogs, there's snakes, there's spiders, there's bees, there's all of these animals. Oh, there's my website again. There's all of these living nature things. The nature around me is really alive. So the field is really beautiful, but like as you said, the wind, I'm living in this house, I've created a relationship with the nature around me that's much deeper and much more profound than I've ever experienced. And it's really interesting for me to observe at what point does the breeze come and tickle my hair? At what point does the bird chirp outside, and which bird, and what does the chirp sound like? At what point is the frog chirping outside? At what point are the cats running around my roof? And at what point are I have my house is kind of 1.5 rooms, and the second room it's an enclosed porch, but it's not 100% enclosed. So sometimes, and that's where I sleep because the air there is much nicer. And so when I sleep, sometimes I also observe the cats walking right by me. And so I say, okay, well, what is it that's triggering all of this? And to kind of be this observer. And it's really been, it feels like I've established and continue to appreciate this really deep friendship with nature as a whole. And I'll just show you one more thing, and then I'll pass it over to whoever's going to speak next. So we're in my porch now, and if we look right outside the window, so here, this is an orange tree.
Oh, okay.
And down here, you'll see some of my plants. Most of them are succulents, but I've got lavender, lemongrass, corn, basil, moringa, and sage.
Wow.
And then the rest are mostly succulents. And if we can look over here, there's another orange tree. And there's also a nectarine tree. And I can show you. Great. There's one more tree here. Let's see if you can tell what they are. Can anybody tell what it is? Those are pomegranates. And
show me again. I could see the green pomegranate. Just focus, just pan the camera. Oh yeah, they're pretty good.
uh-huh.
Isn't it? Yeah, we all
So
are
what I'll share for my last point with everybody is, and this is one of the reasons that I feel so grateful for the opportunity to live in Israel, because so back in the day when the Israelite people were living in this land before Judaism was a thing, there was a connection to this land and the way that the nature works here. And as Judaism developed into a religion, that knowing formed the foundation for a lot of the calendar and the holidays that we celebrate as Jewish people. And obviously there are people in Israel who live here that aren't Jewish, but the country as a whole does follow a Jewish calendar. And I find it really, really, and I grew up Jewish in America. So I grew up observing the holidays, but it was only when I came to Israel and really started living out here on the farm that I observed the synchronicities there. And for example, the pomegranate tree is, the fruits are growing, but as you mentioned, Dr. Amita, they're still green. And we know that ripe pomegranates are red. And the Jewish New Year is, it follows the lunar calendar, but this year it falls, I believe, sometime at the end of September. I have to check exactly what the date is. And pomegranates are one of, first of all, it's a native species to Israel. There's 7 native species. Pomegranates are one of them. And it's one of the foods that are incorporated into the ceremonies of celebrating the Jewish New Year. And when I was a child growing up, we learned that it's because there are so many seeds inside of a pomegranate that it's like it's a myth or something that there's 360 seeds, just like 360 days of the year. But what I realized once I started living here is that that's the time of year that pomegranates are ripe on the trees.
Okay, that's wonderful.
So it's like this real, I feel like living in Israel has allowed me to befriend nature, both in my home that's surrounded by nature, but also following the calendar with the holidays and the different rituals. So I hope I articulated that clearly.
Yeah, this is really well. And I think, you articulated it very well. And I think this kind of small concepts of life, when we see nature and how nature blooms with us, and how these kind of bonds of friendship that nature has gifted us, and we realize, oh, wow, but this is a very exciting thing that you have shared with all of us. I wasn't knowing personally about it. That, there are around 360 seeds, and definitely the fruit itself is rich in seeds, and definitely it shows, and each seed has a potential to grow into a new plant. And so this is amazing that you shared this experience with us. And we have Nishit Bhai as well. So global namaste, Nishit Bhai. What have you to say about Rena's kitchen garden and her nature around, which is pretty beautiful. Over to
Ab-
you.
Indeed, global namaste to everybody and welcome, Rena. And it's lovely to see your surroundings. Nature, you see, for those of us living in a concrete jungle, they don't appreciate the nature and the way things work as much as those who are living in that space like you've got. In the city, it's very, very different. And so it's very nice to be able to see how the surroundings are at your place and how you've been able to connect with nature. And as we know, Mother Nature knows best.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I'm happy to be here on International Friendship Day. And just, if I were to share some thoughts on what friendship means to me, it's more than just a word. It's actually a universal bond that binds us, in an incredible journey over years of connection, of understanding and love. And it's a sanctuary where we learn to grow, to trust, to forgive, and to explore the purest form of human emotions as we connect as friends. And of course, in a diverse world of today, the essence of friendship now transcends borders, breaks down the walls of language, culture, and race, and it allows us to embrace diversity, nurturing global understanding, unity. This platform that we've got here, I think we've got people from over about 180 countries that we've connected with or reached. And so it provides us with a sense of, I say, belonging, a shared space where we can be ourselves, laugh, share our hopes and dreams,